Hello friends. So I evidently had a very wrong time. So whew. Okay. Alright, there we go. And find myself. There we go. There's Miss Yadi. Hello. Hola amiga. Hello Miss Yvonne. Hello. I am sorry. I still had 7 on my calendar, so I was like in a whole nother dimension. So please forgive me for that. So hey there, Miss Amanda. Hello there, Miss Colleen. Y'all, Miss Colleen is up after me, so make sure that you guys stay tuned to the event, and that way you guys can watch her. And it is, today's event is journaling around. So with Miss Yadi from Yadi's Workshop and friends. So please make sure that you're following the free group. It is in the description of this video. And that way you guys can go and see her and check her out. And all of the goodies. And watch all of the wonderful creators that have been on before me and those coming up after me. Thank you for sending the fox out. I really do appreciate that. Alright, so I'm going to turn you down because me and my crazy self, I'm already running late. So we're going to get running because I am not going to run into our friend's time, because it's not fair to Miss Colleen that, you know, this goober here can't remember, you know, the proper time schedule. So let me move these out of the way. Those are some charms that I've been working on. And today we're going to work with something which is a bit of a blast from the past, y'all. Okay, so who remembers these? Okay, who remembers these? And the good thing about it is that because not many of us use them anymore, can usually find them for relatively cheap. Okay, but for those who may not know, this is where you would put a CD in, a CD or a DVD. These make great pockets with a window. So we're going to work with this, and we're going to create a little added feature that we can put into a journal. Okay, so there's many ways to go about it and different things that you can do. Okay, so you can use a focal point, okay, inside of the inside of here. Okay, you can use a focal point and still use this as a pocket, or you could use the outside on the plastic as your focal point. Okay, so we're going to do a few different things. I'm actually going to glue some paper on the inside so that even when we pull a tag out, that you can still see something pretty and not this white in the background. That's the idea. Okay, so we are going to start with a few. You can I'm going to use what I have, which is a few, you know, I have a few strips of papers, so we're going to use those. All right, and we're going to calculate about how much paper we need to fit on the inside here. Okay, and I actually want that there, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to actually glue on top of this, and then we're going to stick it in. Okay, and of course we're going to make everything look old, because we got to make everything look old. All right, that's just the best way to do it. Okay, and I'm going to figure out where I'm going to end up gluing that. So again, thank you Miss Yadi for the invite. I really do appreciate that. I hope that everybody has had a chance. Miss Grace was on, and Miss Yadi's been on, and I know I saw someone else, and right now my memory is so not helping me. But you know what? you need to go back and watch, because everybody's been doing their own thing. Like, you know, amazing ideas of how to junk journal. And different forms of journaling as well. That's the thing about it. You know, it's not just one type of journaling fits all, because it doesn't always do that. Hi there, Miss Connie. There's Mama Connie. How are you doing, my sweet lady? So for those of you who may be like, where has this woman been? Well, I was on vacation with the hubs, so that's why I've been kind of MIA for a bit. You guys haven't seen me. That's who it was. Miss Julie was the first presenter. There we go. I was like trying to remember. And we started at 3, so it's a short event, but it's a great event. It's a mighty event with lots of wonderful presenters and very, very talented ladies, y'all. So please go check them out, okay? Go check them out in Yadi's group. It is a free group where you can go and see everybody who's been on today and everybody who will be on, because we still have some presenters to come on. Alright, so I need to cut right about here where it says friends, and trying to cut somewhat straight, because you know I definitely can't cut straight. Alright, so this is what I'm going to actually put inside of here. Hey there, Michigan's in the house. Whoop whoop. Hey Miss Jan, how you doing, my friend? I hope you are doing wonderful and having a wonderful weekend. Anybody got any plans for this Memorial Day weekend? We really don't have much plans, honestly. We don't really do a whole lot. Maybe hubby will do a little grilling tomorrow. Don't know. He has to go in Monday night, so I know Monday he'll be sleeping most of the day. But it was also graduation weekend, so we noticed we have noticed at least 2 of the houses coming into the subdivision were already having some graduation parties going on. So that was a lot of fun. Okay, so just trying to make sure that that's going to fit in there. Okay. Alright. And I'm going to go ahead and right on this line here, I'm going, since I have this edge here that has been, you know, inked, I'm going to fold my paper and ink it again. Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is rest. I completely understand that. So yeah, for us it's gonna be a bit of a quiet weekend. You know, just try to rest up before the work week starts again. And you know, it's the end of vacation week for Gare, so he has, you know, to get back into the mindset of going to work. It was so nice to be able to spend time with him. This is actually, we were talking about, this is actually like the first like vacation that's just been us without the kids. So that was definitely different. That was definitely different for us, for sure. Okay, so see how I folded it and I added that other line, so it kind of matches up over here with this one. Just helps me give a bit of a focus. You're starting your new job on Tuesday? Oh, well, congratulations, my friend. I really, really do hope that you have a really good experience at work. Okay? I really do hope so. I hope everything works out and goes well for you. So, oh yeah, we definitely did. We enjoyed our vacation. It was definitely a lot of fun. Like I said, it's It's crazy. You start to thinking and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, always have had the kids around. So, hey, Miss Verilyn, how are you, my friend? How are you? How have you been feeling lately? I hope that you are doing well. And thank you. Hey, Mom, how you doing, Mama? Hey, Miss Gracie. Hello, welcome in. Thank you to everybody who's popping in. I really do appreciate that. So I'm just going to add a bit of focal points by adding some little bits that have color to them. And you're gonna see me do this a lot because I want to make sure that I'm staying where I can actually see stuff. So okay, so I can do that there. And then okay, but where it says that cricket. Okay, where it says cricket. I got it. Okay. So we're gonna put this one here. Under previous. Oh no. Well, hopefully the bed rest is just like a preventative to help you and not like a permanent thing, right? Because I know how exhausting that can be, because you really want to be able to get up and do things, and it's frustrating when you can't. So I'm sorry. So hopefully that'll help some though, right? That's why they do that. They hope that it'll help. I hope so. So we are repurposing those CD, the little paper CD holders, okay, so that you can use them as a decorative pocket inside of a journal. And you can decorate these obviously to go along with whatever theme you have in your actual journal, okay? Some people, right, have, you know, like specific themes that they're following, or it may be just where it's like a daily journal, and so you know, maybe every day is a little bit different. So then you could make this maybe a little more neutral, and then you just add to whatever it is that you are trying to do. Well, hopefully it is just till Thursday then, right? Okay. So I'm going to put that one down there. Alright, so now I have some little bits of pop of color on all of this. I'm going to get you guys not too far down, but a little bit further. Right? So right now I'm kind of like focusing on the inside, right? So I'm just adding little bits of different things that could. Now, does anybody recognize what this is? Anybody recognize what that is? That could even work like right there if you wanted to. And anybody can tell me what this is right here? Kind of curious. Kind of curious to see if anybody knows what it is. It is a pattern. So if by any chance you guys have any of those pattern papers hanging around, or if you're not a seamstress, you know, like me, and you just end up finding a whole bunch of really cheap ones at a Goodwill, you can pick them up and you can use them as well. Okay, so this was just punched. Okay, so again, I'm just adding this for another touch of color. Alright, so to add something different to this. So that's all I'm doing. So for this, I am going to use, yep, Miss Jan, sewing patterns. You are right. And Miss Colleen and Miss Connie got it. Y'all so smart. Y'all ladies know. Y'all know. I ain't gotta tell y'all, y'all know. So literally, what is junk journaling? But we use everything and we reuse everything that we can. So, like reusing a pattern that is no longer, maybe you don't no longer use it, or it's out of style, or it's not your style, or like I say, you find them at the Goodwill for like 99 cents and you just use it to junk journal with. Whatever works, right? Whatever is your jam, because that's what we're doing. So I'm essentially building layers at this point, which is also, you know, collaging, which we did in another previous event as well. So, you know, it's all about building things up. Okay, that's what you're doing. You're building things up, whether it is with stickers or it is with pieces of paper, right? Whatever it is that you got. What glue do I use? So I use a few different ones. So this is Tombow, and this is just, you know, the adhesive double-sided tape that you can get. Well, it's not double-sided tape, but it's the one that you roll on and you get tape. So I use that. If I want something to stick instantly, I use the art glitter glue, because once it's down, you're not moving it at all. Okay, and that's if I'm doing like paper to paper. If I'm using something that requires me to brush on, then I'll use a Mod Podge, an Elmer's glue, or a gel medium, which you can get this one's a matte one. You can also get glossy. It all depends on what you're looking for. It works to glue on. And then if I'm looking to adhere like fabrics and or thicker papers, then Fabri-Tac works, or the 3-in-1 from Beck & Works. So I have multiple glues. It all depends on what I'm trying to accomplish or do with them. So like these here, these ones were actually adhered. The pictures were glued in with the glossy accents, and then I put another layer on to act like an epoxy on it to make it glossy and shiny. So again, it all depends on what it is that I'm trying to do or the effect that I need. But in this case, right now, we're just using the glitter glue or the tape. Okay, so those are currently my papers of choice, my glues of choice. Now this obviously I needed to end, right? Okay, so we need to make sure that we cut this in such a way. Okay, you could glue this down right here if you wanted to. That is totally fine. Of course, you're quite welcome. Which I think I'll just go ahead and do that because it'll make it easier, honestly. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue that down when I go to glue everything together. Okay? Alright. So, I'm going to use this today. Alright, which is, again, and it is the permanent one. So, there is a removable type tape that you can get as well. Which works great for some things, like if you need to reposition things. But I know where this is going, so this is going to be permanent. Okay. And I like how it looks. So here comes the tricky part, whether it's you know, school glue or this. Here comes the tricky part, is getting it in all the way down before it decides to stick. That's the only tricky part right now. But once you got it all the way in, right, then there we go. Now it's stuck. Now it's not going anywhere. And I can come and I can take the top and glue this down as well. And I like this because it's less messy. As you notice, my art glitter glue is like going everywhere right now. I think it's because it's like at the end of the bottle, so it's decided to give up. And so yay me. Again, you could cut this. You don't have to, you know, glue it on like I am, but I'm gonna go ahead and just glue it, because all of this part here will be glued into your journal, right? Okay, now we get to decorate the front. Okay, so you can leave this. Okay, you could tuck it inward if you wanted. It can get expensive, this is true. So yeah, so you can tuck it inward, or you can pull it outward, or whatever. I'm actually just gonna take it off, so that's me. Yeah, it does get expensive, this is true. You can also get the Recollections one whenever you have like a Michael's coupon. I've done that one, and it's not bad. It really isn't. It's not bad at all. Okay, so this part's gonna be up to you as to how OCD you are. If you want to take every little piece off, if you want it to be exact, that's gonna be literally up to you. I'm going to ink my edges and leave it as it is, with the little tears and all. Okay, so this, by inking it, it's gonna help me to be able to tell where that edge is. So that's why I'm inking it. Okay, all right, now the front. Remember how I was saying, oh look, we can use this, right, because it's already kind of curved. So let's go ahead and actually use some of it. I'm trying to figure out which side I want to put it on. Let's put it on this side. Okay, so here, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna brush, because it's gonna be easier on me to brush. So I'm just gonna get a small brush, and in my case I'm going to use a little bit of my matte gel medium, and I'm just gonna go here on the edge. So next time you guys are cleaning out your attic and you find all these extra CD pockets, okay, or you're at a Goodwill and you see some, pick them up, because you can decorate these in so many different ways. And they already have the window, which is so cool, right? Because how many times are we trying to create those windows, right? Or maybe you have a friend that doesn't want them anymore, you know, whatever the case. But be like, hey, I'd like those, I can use those. Alright. Okay, so this did come over, and I'm okay with that. Okay, this came over, and I'm okay with that. Alright. Now, I do want to add a few other things here. Okay, so you see how I have this paper over here. Okay, I'm just going to, I want the numbers is what I want. So I'm going to actually glue that in to a corner somewhere. Yeah, down here. But yeah, use these up, because I mean, If not, they would be considered, I mean, at this point, with the way technology is, right, these are considered what? Junk. And what are we doing? Junk journaling. So that means we are taking those items that would normally be considered junk, and we're giving them a new purpose in life. And in this case, we're taking these old CD holders or sleeves, however you want to call them, and we're giving them a new purpose in life. And their purpose now is to look pretty so that I can put a tag in it or whatever my heart's desire is. Okay? Whatever it is that I choose to add into it. Right. Okay. I have a sticker, so I'm going to add a sticker over here. Alright, this is one of those, like a washi sticker, I guess. Because they're very, they're kind of like papery. And see, they have like the little plastic piece. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. That piece. Okay. And I'm just going to add just a little extra glue, just, you know, just to be on the safe side. Okay. And yes, I am putting it onto the clear part here. Okay. All right. So, yes, when I go to put my tag in, you'll see a little bit of that. You'll see a little bit of this. But you know what? That's perfect. That's what I want. I want it to have those different aspects there, okay? So that would be with that. Let me get, okay? You know how many times we ordered something from the Temu and we didn't pay attention to the sizes and we thought we were getting nice big pages and they ended up being little pages? This is a perfect place to use them because now we can use them like going around to decorate, right? And so we can do that, which will be great. I'm actually gonna break this one off a little bit. Okay. And essentially you're gonna build a collage going around and then you just come and you trim it. So that's what this whole concept is. Okay. You come in and you put yourself down a little bit, trying to leave as much of the window exposed, right? But it doesn't have to be exact. That's the beauty of, that's one of the things I think I like the most about junk journaling, is it doesn't have to be perfect. Because Lord knows I definitely am not perfect. So I'm glad that this is a form of art that doesn't require you to be symmetrical or perfect or, you know, any of those kinds of things. But I hope you guys will consider, like I said, giving a new life to these poor CD holders that would otherwise end up probably in the landfill. And instead, they can be decorating and making your journal look very, very pretty. Okay? So I hope you'll consider that. Alright, I'm not going to use that because I don't want to use that. Now, I don't know if I want to put this. Actually, I think I will. I think I'll put that one, but I'm going to trim it. Because I don't know about y'all, but I don't like the white on those, on stickers. It actually gets me aggravated. So just adding a little bit here, a little bit there, adding my pieces. Where's my other piece? So like I said, I do hope that you will consider maybe trying this. I'm sure several of us, right, can find some of these somewhere in our house, or maybe in our place of work where they're getting rid of them, and you can completely give it new life. So be like, don't throw that out, I could use that. And you just ended up with some free material, you know? I know my job used to be like, oh, do you want to take it home? Sure, take it home. What?
You were born in 1984.
Yes.
Okay, 1984.
What?
Oh, Easy's doing the information.
And he doesn't know what year his mama was born in.
No,
oh
he thought
gosh.
you were born 1944.
That would make me older than Grandpa. That's impossible.
He said he knew it was 19 and then 4. 1904. Alright, I was right then.
Ay, ay, ay.
August 14th, 1984.
Y'all, my kids just made me very, very older. Yes, it is, because it allows you to have the opportunity to, you know, make pockets where you can see stuff. So, yeah, I like it. I like being able to use these a lot. And like I said, if you ended up with some of them little papers, it's a great way to use them. Because, you know, that's what happens when you don't read the descriptions. And they tell you, read the descriptions, but you know, we think we know better. Y'all, it's hilarious. My son is over there filling out paperwork. And he was going to put down that I was born in 1944, y'all. I'm just... oh, goodness gracious. Like, where does he get that from? Where? Ah, Lord. So, I know. My daughter says he remembered it was 19 and then 4, but that was it. You know, I could have forgiven him if he said 1994, but 1944? Oh my word. I swear. These kids. You know, he's smart, but sometimes you don't think, because like I said, that would make me older than Grandpa. Like, come on now. Okay, so I'm going to add some over here. I'm going to use up the little bit. Yes, exactly, kids. Like, seriously. I'm like, child, you smart, but I guess not for the right thing sometimes. So, and then I'm just gonna come this way, and I'm gonna put some more here, and I'm gonna piece this over this way, like that. Well, I'll tell you one thing, kids will always keep you on your toes, and no matter how old they get. No matter how old. If y'all are friends with me on Facebook, on my personal page, you probably saw I posted pictures and a little video of Matthew's graduation. He graduated last night. So that was definitely a very proud moment for all of us to see him graduate. So that was a lot of hard work, but definitely, as we say, you know, it's always worth it, right? Oh, thank you. Thank you, and I'm so sorry for the goof on my end of not fixing the time on my calendar, because that was totally my mess up. I was like, I looked down and I'm like, why am I getting a call? And then I see the chat. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, how did I goof that up? How did I goof that up that bad? But hey, I know. That leaves us one kiddo left. One kiddo left. And that'd be Caroline, and she graduates this year that's coming. That's it. They gone. They all done. What do you do when they're all done? I mean, it really makes me think with them all getting ready. You know, they're all spreading their wings. But, you know, as a parent, that's what you want. You want them to spread their wings. You want them to get to know the world and all those things, right? That's what we want for them. So, I mean, I'm proud. I'm proud of them all. Yeah, she's in here. Miss Yvonne is in here. She's been enjoying us. Yes, our next presenter is Miss Colleen. And I love her name. A couple of tra-la-las. So please make sure that you stick around and watch her. Because she is always such a joy to watch. And so talented. Let me tell you that all of the crafters that are in this community, in this group, are so talented. I feel honored that I get to create alongside y'all. At times I feel like I'm, you know, I'm not all what I should be, but I'm grateful that I still get invited back to participate in events. So oh, I'm still figuring out what to do after, but they have the right. Yeah, they do. They have the right to grow up, and now it's like, okay, well, what do we do? What do we do now? I mean, and then the struggles of, you see them soaring, but then they also still struggle, and you want to help, but at the same time you want them to grow as people. So it's, kind of a little counterintuitive to always be trying to tell them stuff, but you want the best for them, so you try to still give them advice. And I'm just grateful. Josh will turn 23 this year. I'm like, what the world? He had his birthday on Thursday. Matthew graduated. I'm like, oh my gosh, So, you can totally go back here. This is what I was going to do. Now I remember what I was going to do. I was going to eliminate some of this white and add a focal point to my glass part, to the clear part. But yeah, I mean, this week has been filled with things because, like I said, my oldest turned 23. Matthew graduated. Easy will be graduating as a corpsman on July 22nd. Caroline's last year of school starts in August, which is very approaching very quickly. So it's like, oh my gosh, what? I'm glad I got the cats and Gary, because if not, what in the world? It's hard. Thank you, Miss Connie. I know. I told them happy birthday before we left on our cruise because I knew I wasn't going to have cell phone service on Thursday. So I let him know. And I was like, hey, happy birthday, baby. So, I'm like, goodness gracious. Every time they get older or they, accomplish an achievement, you feel so proud, but then at the same time, it's like, darn, I'm getting old. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting old. Yes. You really like the different layers of goodies. Yeah, because see, I even came in with some of the paper and I still went like over some of it. So it adds different layers. Plus you've got the inside layer. And then now I'm going to add this sticker. I mean, I made it difficult by taking the excess off. But I don't like all that extra white. To me, that's just, it takes away from the sticker. If that makes any sense. So usually a set of, there we go, usually a set of tweezers helps. Okay, and so she's going to come in and be in here. All right. And so now, let me show you. Okay, let's say this is a tag, and this you have this pocket. So if you were to go put a tag in, right, you still, even though it's hiding the back, you still have decoration up front to be able to admire and look at. And then once you pull the tag out, you have everything you put in the background. So let's say your sheet that you're going to add this to, you could use a piece of that paper on the inside of these, so it blends and makes it, you know, all the different ways. So I hope you guys like the idea. I've started really playing around with these. I really like them. And I hope that you guys enjoy the idea too, and we'll give it a try because it's a lot of fun. You know, of course, I need to finish to add some, you know, I know that I left this distressed so that I could see where the pocket is, but I'm just going to go in and add a little bit more because, you know, can never be, you know, there can never be enough ink on here. And you can use whatever color palette you're using. You know, like the focal point is pink. If I wanted to, you could have inked it in pink, but I like the vintage grungy look. That's more my style. So, but I hope you guys stick around and are inspired and go and try it yourself. I also hope that you will go see what Miss Colleen is going to show us. And then if you missed any of today's creators, please go back. You can watch the replays. They're all in the group. It is a free event group. It is hosted by Miss Yadi from Yadi's Workshop. And I really do hope that you will go and support her and all of the wonderful different, you know, things she comes up with, because she has really great events. And then she co-hosts many times with Miss Yvonne from the Double Trouble group. So definitely keep their groups in your favorites and watch them, because you will not be disappointed, I promise you. Okay, so again, if you find these hanging around somewhere in your cupboard, or like I said, maybe at work they're gonna get rid of them, toss them, or you find a box of these at the Goodwill, pick them up, because they are so worth decorating. Like I said, you already have the pocket made for you. You already have the the glassine part that we normally are trying to add, so it's already there for you, right? It makes it just so much easier. And I don't put anything here because, you know, this is going to be glued to my page of my journal. Okay, so yeah, hopefully you guys like that, you know, and I can't wait to see what your versions are going to be when you find some of these and you get to playing with them. Okay, you are quite welcome. It is, yeah, it is my pleasure to always be part of your group. And you know, I just really love it. I love all the ladies here, and I love you, so I'm very, very appreciative. And there's Miss Amy. She's actually on today, so make sure that you stay and watch her. Hey, Crafts by Amy, how you doing, my sweet friend? This is what I created. Okay, it is an old CD holder. And we turned it into a very colorful pocket. So hopefully it inspires. Yes, please watch the replays. Okay. And most of us creators now, because of the things that Facebook has been doing with our videos, we do have YouTube channels. So like my lives are being streamed over into YouTube as well. So if you're ever looking for any of the like current lives, you're like, oh, I remember, her doing something with CD pockets. Let me go. If you can't find it on Facebook, look for it on YouTube. And like I said, lots of our creators on here have a YouTube channel, so please make sure that you're subscribed and following them over there as well. Okay? And remember that I love y'all. Go see Miss Colleen.